Okay, so I want to today to show you guys how to put a wetsuit on properly. It's really important to follow a few tips, which hopefully today Mel here and myself will get through. So here we go. Okay, so when you get your suit, it's going to be brand new. It's not going to have been worn before. So it needs stretching. That's the main thing. And when you pick up the suit, many of you are going to say, that ain't going to fit me. But it will, I'm sure, because these stretch like anything. Don't they, Mel?
They absolutely do. I can confirm this.
Okay, so we want to stretch it and we want to try it on at least 2 or 3 times before we go in the water, because that allows the suit to kind of stretch naturally and become more relaxed. Not too zoom in. Got my stunt double now. The way to stretch the suit out is, of course, to try it on. And today we're going to do that with Mel, who's kindly come and been our guinea pig. Okay, so I don't want you to be scared about putting a suit on. Many people, they don't give it some welly, and you can give these suits some welly. They're not going to break if you pull them in the right way and handle them in the proper manner. And what I suggest is, when you handle neoprene, you use what I call crab claws. That's your 2 fingers and 1 thumb. These are the strongest parts of your hand. You don't need the rest of it, because if you do that, you start digging with your nails, and we don't want nails anywhere near neoprene. So you use the flats of our fingers like a crab, and you can pull as hard as you want, as much as you need. So obviously, if you have nails, that's not a problem. We do provide gloves that come with every wetsuit. You can use the gloves, but still I would suggest doing the crab claws, because nails can come through the gloves a little bit if they're sharp. Once we've tried the wetsuit on 2 or 3 times, you need to get in the water, and the wetsuit will stretch even further in the water. So I want you to open up the neckline, let some water come in, and that's going to push the water. The water's going to push the neoprene out a little bit more. So if you are walking around in a wetsuit on dry land and it feels a little bit tight still, get in the water, let the water in, and that'll push the neoprene out to be far more comfortable. Now Mel's kind of going to show us all how to put a wetsuit on properly. And the best way to do this is to get the wetsuit up as far as you can, up your body, and you do each one by stages. First being, we want to get it over the legs. Usually I would advise to wear either socks or you can use a plastic bag. In this case, we're not going to do that, are we? Okay, so Mel's got the suit firstly up her leg, up her ankles. And you can see here it's about 1 to 2 inches above her ankles, and that's where it needs to be before we start pulling it up the body. So then what Mel is doing now, she's pulling the wetsuit up over her knee. And the best way to do that is by using the flaps of your fingers like that, as she's doing. And you want to have no creases at all. And do that before you get it over the knee, because once you've got the suit over the knee, you can't really adjust this much at all. So again, Mel's got the other leg in now, and it's again the same distance above her ankles as this one. And now she's going to pull that again nice and straight up over the knee. I always say to people, take your time when doing this. There's no rush. If you rush it, you're going to get hot and bothered, and the wetsuit's going to be more sticky and difficult to handle. So Mel's taking her time here. She knows it's important to get it nice and straight here with no lumps or bumps, because everything you want is to go up, 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 as tight as you can on the crotch. If you have a crease down here or here, it means you're not going to get the full stretch on the neoprene up over the shoulders where you want the stretch to be and the flexibility. So now what Mel is trying to do is to get as much neoprene as possible up to the crotch, as tight as you can. There's no rush in doing this. It doesn't matter if it takes 10-15 minutes. So this is the most important part of putting a suit on, is to take the time getting the suit up the crotch and up over the legs, up to the hips and around the waist. Once you've done that and you've done it well, there isn't a problem after that. If you haven't put it on properly there and you've got some lumps and bumps, you're going to struggle to get the wetsuit right up over your shoulders, and it's going to pull you down a little bit and feel a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, Mel's well underway now. As you can see though, there's a few bubbles, especially around the back of her knee here and coming up here. So what she will do now is pull these further up again, so she's got more neoprene going up the body. Okay, so Mel's now got the suit nice and tight on the crotch. She's got no real bubbles here or anything at all, so she's ready to put the arms in and go and get the top on. This, again, I want her to put the arms just above wrist level. I'm starting the same way with the crab claws as you do with the legs. Slowly pull up the neoprene up her arm, so there's no lumps or bumps and it's nice and smooth. The more she can get up her shoulders, the more flexibility. The more neoprene up over her shoulders, the more comfort she's going to get. First arm is in. That's nicely up like a kind of watch level. And we're getting onto the other arm now. She's doing this really well. Sometimes you can get somebody else to help you do this, especially when the suit's brand new, because it's a little bit stiffer and it needs to soften it and be worn and stretched. So if you've got a partner or a friend, ask them to pull these arms up. Open up your arms like this so that we can pull them up. Okay, so Mel's now got the wetsuit on almost. She's nearly there, but we need to make some adjustments. And the main one, which nobody usually does, and it's an absolutely game changer, because this makes the wetsuit so much more flexible and how it should be in the water. So Mel's going to lean forward and she's going to grab any spare bits of neoprene she can find around her belly and pull that up gently but firmly with both hands up over her chest. This releases the neck part and the upper chest. And she can do this both before she zips up and after she zips up. Don't be frightened of doing this every time you put the wetsuit on. The more you can do it, the more neoprene you can get up over your chest, the better. Okay, so we'll just make some adjustments, and I, as a friend, will do that for her because she can't do it herself at the moment. I'm going to pull the arms up with my crab claws up here, and that helps get every single bit of neoprene up over her shoulders. And here again, we've got a little bit more to play with. Doesn't matter if there's a few lumps and bumps up this bit, because you need a little bit of give. Okay, and so you can relax now, thanks. Okay, and now finally we're ready to zip up. So usually you need a friend to do this, unless you're very flexible, which I'm not. And we basically grab the bottom of this zip here. It's a very strong zip. If you could just pull your shoulders back for me, Mel, please. That's perfect. And the zip goes up like that. Bang. Up to the top. Put that on there. And we're nearly good to go. However, we can do a few more adjustments if we feel like we've got a little bit of neoprene down the bottom area of the back here. We can grab the bottom here with both hands and pull up. See there? There's quite a little bit of neoprene that can be pulled up. Up here. And we're good to go. So the wetsuit's on now. If you do feel a little bit of tightness around the chest or around the neck, again, you can lean forward and try again to pull more neoprene up from around your belly area. There's always some down there, always. A good way to know if the wetsuit's going to be really good for you in terms of the water, you need to know it's flexible. I always say to my customers, put an arm up if you want to do that, and you shouldn't feel anything pulling you down the side here. That should feel nice and supple and flexible, so that it's going to be more efficiency in the water, and you're not going to feel stiff and tired when you get out. Any questions at all, both before you order a wetsuit or once you've had it delivered, and you want to speak to me personally about it, please get in touch with us. I'm happily call you. You can book online, a video call, or even a face-to-face. I'm always here to help. Everybody's different.